podcast. We are here once again, bringing our unprecedented opinions and charm, of course, to break down this weekend's fight card, UFC Fight Night, Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. Pretty cool main event. Namajunas coming back after a loss against Menin Furo. Her debut at 125. Here she's taking on Amanda Ribas to see if she can maybe get on the winning track up a weight class. Last weekend, we had some best bets that I am still very sore about. Isaac Dilgarian clearly won his fight and then lost by, I guess, damage in one of the rounds. It was a little tough to watch. Also, Tai Tuivasa realized that he's a barroom brawler only and ended up getting submitted by Marcin Tybura. Very disappointing. I actually like to see him do well, so a little bit down on that, but we're going to redeem ourselves. These picks are going to be the best picks you've ever heard in your life. So without further ado, here's our best bets for Ribas versus Namajunas.
Oh, show me the money, huh? Show me the money.
You guys can't see it, but I actually dyed my hair blonde underneath the hat, so it looks really good.
300, right?
Plugs. Yeah, for 300, I'm going to do hair transplant, everything. I'm going to kick us off with my first best bet today. We have undefeated prospect Payton Talbott against, oh my goodness, Cameron Simon from South Africa. And Cameron Simon's actually had some really good fights. His hands are nasty, but I've learned to, I guess, avoid picking on certain things. One thing that bit me the other day is this whole idea with Brian Ortega, where he's kind of like Homer Simpson. He takes a beating and he just walks you down, and then you get tired from hitting him, and then he beats you. There's a little bit of that with Payton Talbott. I actually scouted him quite a bit when he had his first fight against Nick Aguirre in the UFC. He has this weird habit of kind of like Cheeto, where he lets the fight get away from him in the beginning in the first round or two, and then he kind of downloads your game, figures out what you're doing, and he manages to wrestle defeat out of the hands of, victory out of the hands of defeat. He often looks like he's in deep trouble and pulls it out. For that reason, I'm actually going to pick Payton Talbott here to remain undefeated. I do think that Cameron Simon is really hard to finish in this case, and he's getting more and more experience. He's getting better and better. I don't think it's going to be a finish. I think it's probably going to be a hard-fought decision. This one might be a split, though. Both of these guys are a couple dogs, but ultimately, I think Payton's got a really, really big future in the UFC. The UFC clearly loves him. I think they're hoping that he becomes a big prospect because he's got everything. He's kind of got the look, and the whole thing works for him. But I definitely feel like Payton's going to come out here and make a statement. He's got heavy power. He kind of drags people into these weird fights where they get lulled to sleep, and then he puts it on you. He kind of reminds me a little bit of our boy Brian Battle. So let's hope he has a better night. Let's hope nobody gets poked in the eye this time. So without further ado, Payton Talbott, that's my pick.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brad.
He's got the swagger, too, I think, that the UFC likes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got that confidence about him. Yeah. But Cameron Simon's tough, man. That's going to be a good test for him. He can't slouch around that fight because he will, mess around and lose. So
he's got slept.
Yeah. So he's got to be careful, but it'll be a fun fight to watch. They're both two up-and-coming guys that are exciting. My best bet, give me the Ultimate Fighter, Kurt Holobaugh. I don't think he won. Did he win the Ultimate Fighter? I think he did, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he's a tough dude. He's like a country boy, kind of like Nate Landwehr, just goes forward and keeps throwing until he knocks you out. He has one submission, one knockout win in his second stint in the UFC. He's fighting Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden is, I would say, an inconsistent fighter. He lost to Jordan Levitt, Bahamundez, but he's not dangerous to me. He doesn't have any finishes, I don't think, that are very noticeable. So I think this is a good fight for Holobaugh. I think he'll come out here and get his first win outside of the Ultimate Fighter and kind of make a name for himself. But it should be a fun fight. I think he definitely wins. I'm gonna go money line, Kurt Holobaugh.
Honestly, man, his losses before he got cut and went to have to come back through the Ultimate Fighter as like a feeder league, these are not disrespectful losses at all. I mean, Thiago Moises, Shane Burgos, Hani Bacelos, these are all like legit fighters. So it's not like he's not getting like smashed by guys who are outside the top 15. Those guys were all highly ranked in top 10s at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's 37. He's a little old, but I think he's got the dog. In him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got that dog. So we'll see how it goes. But he's a fun guy to watch.
All right. So for my best bet for this week, I'm going with Karl Williams over Justin Tafa. You know what I just realized before we did this pick? Me and Alex sat in front of Karl Williams' family. You remember that?
Oh my God. In Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were like really cool. His whole family was behind us, and I think the whole gym was behind us as well. He fights out of Atlanta, so the fight night was in Charlotte. And I remember us saying together, he's like, wow, he's dominating this fight. He looks like he's a pretty skilled heavyweight. He's good, has good wrestling. He definitely controlled the octagon when we watched that fight, and I was like pretty impressed. Like I remember we turned around, we're like, wow, like that was a good fight. He controlled pretty much the whole time. So I'm gonna pick him. He's a -185 favorite. And then also Justin Tafa, like he kind of got a lot of hype out after his his last win. We got the knockout against Austin Lane, the part-time MMA fighter, he's an NFL guy. After that, like no contest that happened the time before that. And then also Australian MMA is kind of on the downtrend right now. We had another fighter last week, Tai Tuivasa, which I was disappointed in, but there's just something about them that they just can't win right now. And when they're going against a good skilled fighter like Karl Williams, I'm going to have to go with him. So yeah, I'm going to take the money line -190 for my best bet this week.
Yeah, I think that'll go the distance. I think Karl Williams is a wrestler. Like that's his first way to victory is wrestling. So yeah, I think that's a good pick, and hopefully we can get 3-0 this week.
We'll see about that.
Anything is possible.
Let's touch on the main event though while we're at it. Of course, no best bets for us in the main event. It's a tricky fight. Rose has kind of been inconsistent lately, so we'll see how she comes out in this fight. Of course, Amanda Ribas, she is like a firecracker. She just comes out swinging. She's fun to watch. So there's like complete opposites right now with the way Rose is fighting versus Ribas. So I'm curious to see how Rose handles her aggression and her walking forward, just wanting to engage nonstop. And her cardio is off the charts. Like she's not going to get tired, and she's going to be screaming with every punch that she throws, like she always does. So it'll be a fun fight, man. It will. I'm excited to see Ribas get her moment to fight a big name like Rose.
You think she gets it done?
It depends which Rose we see. If we see the Rose that beat Zhang Wei Li, Joanna, then I think Rose can get it done. But if she's the Rose you've seen of late, I don't think so.
Yeah.
She didn't look too bad in her last fight. And it also came out that she broke her hand really bad, but still
She broke it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough watching fighters get older, man, especially for the female weight classes, man. It's different for them. It seems like more of like a mentality thing. Whereas like for the older fighters, like on the men's side, a lot of times it's like all the skills are there, but the chin's gone. So even though they're kind of doing well, they're still just getting like lights out in fights. But like for them, for the women, it seems sometimes like a mindset thing, like a pulling the trigger thing. And like Rose is at that moment right now where she's kind of like, she's waiting. She's got the power, but it's there, it's chambered, and it's like, then the fight's over. There's a little bit of that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Still love
Trevor Whitman? Is he like, I know Usman's not training with him anymore, like full time, but I think Gaethje is. Is Rose still in his camp? Do you know?
Not as
I don't
much.
think so. Yeah.
I think he's kind of like falling off a little bit. No.
Yeah.
Like he was like the Eric Nixon of now a few years ago. When he had the three champions at the same time or something like that. And now it's like, oh, who does Trevor Whitman coach? Just Gaethje.
Right.
You know?
Same thing with Jason Perillo. Perillo kind of is like,
yeah,
he's good, but he's also kind of like a celebrity thing. So like celebrity fighters go out there to rehab their career when things are like not going well. So they're like, I'm going to go to elevation and my cardio is going to get better. So everything's going to change. And it's like sometimes you can play with the toys, but you can't fix the toys. They fixed Justin Gaethje though. You know what I mean? He's doing much better, but it's like he already lives there, I think. so it's easier for him to train there. I did see some clips from Usman and Cejudo's new podcast they have. I love it. It's so funny watching them try to remember people's names. It's wonderful. Such entertaining stuff. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so bad.
I've seen clips of it. I've seen.
There's like awkwardly sitting next to each other too, like just staring at the screen, and
they look so tired.
Yeah.
And I love both guys. I really do. It just seems like they just don't want to be there. I'm like, guys, like, it's all good. You don't have to do this. We got this on lock. Our show's already on. Do that.
Yeah. You guys should be watching us, not them. I mean, come on, man.
Exactly.
2 Hall of Fame fighters or 3 dudes who
just dudes.
Casual, just dudes, man. Hall of Fame betters, you know.
What's your qualifications? I'm just a dude.
I just train jiu-jitsu once or twice a week. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you needed, dude.
White and blue
That's
belt.
all you needed. Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Kill a man with a blue belt. That's it.
Well, that does it for this week's Fight Night Best Bets. Also, just want to say appreciate everybody watching these. We've definitely gotten more views as of recent, especially for these fight nights. We know some of you guys may not like these fight nights as much as the pay-per-views, but we appreciate you guys watching them through, and comment if you guys have any best bets for this weekend and let us know. And then, as always, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.